happened when the people got to Fort Simcoe. They were held there for a little over 5 years as prisoners of war. And out of roughly 700 people, I think 175 or 80 made it out of there alive. Upon their release, there was another executive order that was signed to establish the Idaho side of the Duck Valley Indian Reservation, and those folks that were released from Fort Simcoe were directed to go to Duck Valley and start their lives over there.
Several bands of both Shoshone and Paiute are represented on the reservation, and each is related to peoples on other Paiute and Shoshone reservation sites. In 1934, the tribal government was organized and its constitution adopted 2 years later.
We're established under the Indian Reorganization Act, and through that system we have an elected body of 6 councilmen and a chairman that's elected every 3 years. And basically we're the legislative branch of the government. We have tribal administration, health administration, judicial administration, and we oversee all of these programs.
2 factors that help the Shoshone and Paiute are their active and proactive tribal government and their control of natural resources on the Duck Valley Reservation.
20 years ago, our tribal government didn't have very much, just a few programs. But since the establishment of the Indian Self-Determination Act, we've been able to expand 3, 4, 5-fold maybe in employment, and became the largest employer.
The biggest change that I saw happened when our tribe entered into self-governance compact agreements with for all the BIA programs and the Indian Health Service programs. Not only was more funding available for employment, but it seemed like we came into a new era of administration also.
We've got a fairly large reservation, all tribally owned, 450, close to 460 square miles. That's basically all held in common for tribal members. It was called Duck Valley for a reason. It basically, after it came out of the mouth of the canyon, it funneled out, and it was basically one big giant marsh.
The reservation is a beautiful landscape of valleys and mountain ranges. Wild Horse Reservoir and the Duck Valley Irrigation Project, established in the 1930s, increased opportunities for both farming and ranching in the area.
You know, there are sciences out there that we're not able to tap, and in order for our agriculturalists to be better producers and to help our economy, we have to find better ways of getting the water to them or helping them with animal sciences, and I think technology is the way.
The reservation is host to a significant number of tourists year-round who come for fishing, hunting, and other recreational activities. 3 reservoirs and the Owyhee River provide fishing access licensed by the tribes.
The salmon that used to come up through the Owyhee River, some of the old documents we've seen that the people used to just get salmon almost by the wagon loads to take up and sell to the non-Indian people. And you know, there was a time that salmon was so plentiful that they couldn't even imagine a day when it would run out.
We had some of the largest spring Chinook runs of salmon at one time. When the salmon left, so did a lot of our species. So we're trying to bring them back through the bureaucracy of science, let's say. But right now we probably have, out of Idaho's sensitive list of 70-some creatures, we probably have over 60 of them here on the reservation. I noticed that a lot of things are coming back that were once here before. Wolverine are back. Of course, we've got a lot of badgers. The skunk's back. Then again, you know, sightings of black bear back up higher. But we've got a lot of elk, which were native to the area. We've got an atrocious amount of antelope. I know we did a flyover at one time, and we probably counted right around 2,800 head.
Tribal government and programs provide much of the employment on the reservation. The tribes operate a modern hospital facility that they share with non-Indian residents of the area. Ranching and agriculture are also part of the reservation economy. Tribal youth attending kindergarten through high school system are a pride of the community. Other programs include a tribal court system, environmental protection, social services, a senior citizen center, a Head Start program, economic development, and resource management.
I think the primary source of employment for the community is government. Bureau of Indian Affairs is the next largest employer, and then the school district at the school. And outside of that, the other primary industry is agriculture, farming and ranching.
When I first started with the tribe, we had about 40 employees. This was back in the early 1980, right around there. And now we're up to 200. But there's still room for more.
We provide protection for approximately 400 structures. Our wildland crew consists of 2 camp crews and 2 hand crews. We send them out over all the western states. In the past few years, our development on the reservation, as you know, it's coming out pretty good, and there's a lot of new houses and such, which in turn we have to provide the protection for these facilities.
So this is a tribally operated hospital which provides the basic services that the Indian Health Service would, meaning it does have an outpatient services, it has inpatient, community health, behavioral health. It has its own EMS service, which most rural hospitals and tribal operations don't have. So this community is very privileged to have an emergency services like it does right now. It employs approximately 80 employees, both locally and professionals who come from all over the nation to work here. You don't see a facility like this in other rural communities, which I think speaks tremendous cooperation that was within this and still is within this community.
The tribes seek mitigation of lands outside their boundaries that are rightfully theirs. Lands that were taken and occupied, but never legally ceded by the tribes.
That treaty to this day is still being argued because our people, Western Shoshone people, feel that the land still belongs to the Western Shoshone people, and it's been quite a battle that we've had to try to make the federal government acknowledge that and uphold the promises that were within the treaty.
The successful reclamation of an old copper mine upstream of the reservation is a major environmental concern of the tribes. The mine leaches acid drainage into the Owyhee River, the major source of water for the reservation.